I'd just like to give a bit of I think a round of applause, but also I'd like to tell you a little story, if I can, just before I hand over to Michael Avery. My mother-in-law passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's an estate which has to be wrapped up and so on and so forth. There were some complications because she didn't live here and so on and so forth, lived up north in Zim. And with Capital Legacy, we actually employed them because there was some of the estate was here. And for 2 years, they've been working quite hard at it. Not full 2 years, but there's things that have to happen in the estate, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, they are the most professional people that I've ever dealt with. So if you haven't got a will, or if you haven't used their services, I'd suggest you do so. Because I have been nothing but really, really impressed with the team. They, give you all the feedback you need. They do all the work. They do everything. They really are good. My little personal endorsement this afternoon, because it was wrapped up sort of like today, Friday today, and I thought it was worth mentioning. They really have been very good. Capital Legacy, a #1 provider of wills and estates, so it just makes sense that they also now offer life.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me right here in Solomon's Temple. I'm Solomon Izangi Shams, and it's so good to be with you. I hope you're doing very well today. Thank you for joining me. It's been a couple of people who were in here even before we got started. Thank you, Jack. Jack watching from Maryland, Bethesda in Maryland. Boyd, I see you. Great to have you here. And my sister from the Caribbean, St. Lucia. Alas, good to have you here. Good to have every one of you. Really appreciate you guys watching across the African continent, up in Europe, South America, Asia, the island. Yes, here is Loretta from Cameroon, within the African continent. Lobisa, I see you from South Africa. And then there is ME Management from Onitsha in Nigeria. Now, if you guys know Onitsha, that's Joseph. If you guys know Onitsha in Nigeria, that is like the hub of production, the hub of, business, Onitsha, Aba, these two places. So those of you guys who are not familiar with Nigeria very well, these are wonderful places with great history. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. On a sad note, I want to discuss the passing away of the son of musician David Adeleke. David Adeleke, also known as Davido, lost his 4-year-old son, Ifeanyi. He conceived with his, I don't know if his girlfriend or wife. I think they were engaged. Anyway, it's not how the baby was conceived in this matter. With Chioma, her name. And Davido is somebody that sometimes when you look at certain things that he does, you sort of understand his heart. Last year during his birthday, he raised millions and gave it out to orphanages and just charities across the country. Quite a lot of money, And lately, him and his girlfriend Chioma, or his fiancée Chioma, they were off. They broke up, but they just got back maybe about a month ago, and they were just everywhere, and they were just talking, getting married and everything. And then boom, obviously, now his son passed away during the weekend. It was alleged that he drowned in the swimming pool. I have a swimming pool at home, and we started training our kids to know how to swim from when they were 6 months. One is 8 now. They can swim. So the 8 and the one who's 5, they can fall into any pool right now. They can get themselves out because they can swim, basically. And that's just the importance of it. We don't need to cover our pool or anything. And we train them. We had to take them to swimming school also, a lot of it, and expose them. But the sad part of this is there are people who are supposed to take care of this baby, just like every other kid. And to be honest with you, it's not just about Davido's baby. It's about the millions of babies and kids across Nigeria and across Africa who lose their life because of hunger, because of polio, because of malaria, something you could actually prevent, you know. Um, and that is just so sad. So now he lost his baby, and a prophet called Prophet Samuel King. Prophet Samuel King now came out to actually say that he had prophesied about this incident of Davido's 4-year-old son, Ifeanyi, passing away. He prophesied, I think, somewhere in January or February. I'm going to play you the video the prophet made, just after the news broke out that Davido's son has passed away, right? He made a video to say he had prophesied, but he couldn't reach out to Davido. I want to play you this video, and I want you to evaluate the video. That is the content of the video, what he said on this video for me. Now, we have a lot of prophets who are cloud chasers. They want to hoop on any, popular viral story just so they can gain some sort of traction. There are those kind of prophets, So help me evaluate, is this one of those prophets? And secondly, help me evaluate if a prophet heard from God that this is the disaster that is going to befall this family, befall this boy, even without getting access to Davido or the family of the boy, wasn't he able to talk to God and find a way to prevent it? Because we've seen quite a series of that in the Bible, different contexts. So it all depends on context. I don't know what this prophet claimed to exactly heard from God directly, but let's watch the video. This is Prophet Samuel King of Samuel King's ministry, claiming in this video what he had heard from God before the demise of this baby. Watch this and let me know what you think.
And this is a message to you. My name is Prophet Samuel King, and this is a message to make more highlights on the prophecy that was given to Davido on the 7th of January through my Facebook account. And before I would like to continue, I'd like to send my condolence message to the family of David Adeleke, who just lost his son Ifeanyi. I'm not here to show that I'm the best prophet on earth, which is one of the things I would like to be emphasizing in my prophecy highlight. When I gave this prophecy on the 7th of January, I tried to do some move, to make some move, but of course, I am not among the so-called names of the big men of God in Nigeria who probably can speak to some celebrities. And if I had spoken, I would have been called one of the hungry prophets looking for fame or trying to look for money. In our days now, God is speaking, but many people have underrated and underestimated the word of God. So prophets are being abused because of a whole lot of things, misconception about spirituality, faith, and the prophetic. So I had to keep myself distance from trying to push, because who would believe if I had said this was going to happen? And if you read that prophecy very clear, it said there are two clues. One has already been fulfilled. Two has already been fulfilled. The first is the death of Davido's son. And the first clue, there were two clues, said T and Y. The T stands for Thursday. And if you see all the happenings right now, it just happened after the birthday of Davido, and it happened, his son, which happened on Thursday, the 20th. So that cannot be a coincidence. The last clue, which is Y, is something I will not post, I'm not going to say online. I would, in this very confidence, would like to pass this message to Davido and his family. There is something he needs to know. I'm not out to get fame, and I'm not meant to share this in public. I did 3 days fasting in obedience to instruct the prophetic word that was given to me on the 7th of January. I received that word 7 days before the 7th, which was on the 1st January night, after the crossover night, and I was scared to post it because I needed confirmations, and I had it like 3 times. Davido, I know this is a hard time right now for you and your wife to be Chioma. I know that a lot of clouds and people are around you, but I'd like you to hold yourself very strong and try to be in a place of prayer, because the enemy is not happy about a lot of things that is happening in your life. I'll send and I'll try my best to see how to reach out to the family and to give you the last clue and tell you how you should pray about this. 2023 is another big year, but let it not be a mirror reflection of what has happened today. May the soul of your son rest in perfect peace. Now you will go to meet him, he will not come to meet you. Shalom.
So that's Prophet Samuel King. What do you make of his video? He didn't say much, to be honest with you, for me. Didn't say much. He said he wasn't looking for fame, but he posted that on Facebook. If he had done that maybe in church or in a meeting, then I would understand. But he posted that. He said on the 7th of January, first posted that on Facebook. What do you make of that? Was that just an accident that happened because of negligence of the helpers, the nannies that are supposed to be taking care of the baby? Some people are even accusing Davido right now and saying, look, hey, I think this is Davido probably went into a ritual and maybe the child was just part of the whole thing. But you see, the thing is, you have a pool. If you have a pool and you have kids as young as 3, 4, they can't swim, you cover the pool. Or there must be somebody watching over them. So, because if nobody's there watching over them, an accident can happen. They would fall into the pool and nobody around, they get drowned. And was this just an accident? And we're making a big deal of it. A certain prophet coming out now and saying, look, I prophesied that this was going to happen. Because accidents do happen. Why do accidents happen? Because of my negligence or because of another person's negligence? Accident is part of who we are every single day. So the prophet didn't really give us that much. Why would the enemy is after you, Davido, and the enemy is always after you and I. That's just the fact. Because Satan loves to have a field day, destroying people, taking lives, taking away destinies. That's the handiwork of Satan. That's what he does 24/7. There's no any other thing that he does. That's what he delights in. Or should we actually take this issue and stop trying to examine it and just give it over to God? Say, God knows everything. Because sometimes certain things happen because of our negligence or because of our carelessness. And now we want to blame Satan, or we want to say, this is why God did it. No, it's negligence. If I'm driving on the road, if I'm supposed to drive on the right side of the road, and then I ended up driving on the left side of the road, the opposing car is going to hit me if I'm not careful. That's what's going to happen. And then what do we make out of it? And then some prophet sitting somewhere would say, oh, you see, I told you guys it's going to be evil. But that is just pure reckless negligence. Because whatever a prophet is going to tell me or tell anybody about the enemy is after you, the enemy is not happy, this would happen to you, and this would happen to you, and this would. The enemy is never happy about me. The enemy is never going to be happy about you. The Bible says in John chapter 10, verse 10, he comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So if I'm losing stuff, someone is stealing stuff from me, I know it's the devil. This prophet, for some reason, has some sort of reputation. If I remember well, he had some marital issues, and his wife actually came out and said quite a lot of stuff about him that were just not pleasant. So let's just say enough with all this cloud chasing. An accident occurred of a 3-4-year-old child who couldn't swim was left unattended by a pool of water. The child fell into it, nobody there to save the child, and the child passed away. The people who were supposed to do their duties, the house help, the nannies who were supposed to do their duties, didn't do their duty very well. The same thing happened to Nigerian artist also, D'banj, a few years ago. So enough of that, guys. These guys didn't do their duty very well. An accident happens. It's easy as that. That's why the police is also involved. About 8 people were arrested. The people who walked in the house, 8 of them were arrested. 6 were released yesterday, but 2 are still in detention because this is some sort of a criminal offense. So we should stop making it a spiritual offense. We should let the devil be. Sometimes we blame the devil for what he is not a part of. I can't blame the devil for my negligence. I cannot blame the devil for my laziness. I cannot blame the devil for my greed. Cannot blame the devil for that. So there are certain things that we don't need to spiritualize them, people. There are certain things we do not need to spiritualize them. We just need to look at it, discern in context of what had happened. It's as simple as that. Matter of fact, let me check. There's some information that I feel I need to share. I need to share this information with you guys. Yeah, but I can't find it. But one thing I can tell you in conclusion is this same prophet, Samuel King, some of his stuff was exposed last year, which puts a very huge dent and a question mark on his character. So, for us to listen to certain prophets, you have to have character. But this prophet that gave this prophecy, he himself, there is a lot of questionable stuff that was actually set by his wife, his then wife. I'm not sure if they're still married now. So you see, guys, we must sometimes let the devil, we know the devil is there, he's going to be, we don't have to give him attention. When we see things happening, we know he's around. We have wisdom. God gave us wisdom just so we're not going to have accidents like this. God gives us wisdom so we can avoid accidents. But if we don't use the wisdom, then we're going to have accident, and we cannot blame Satan for it. It's as simple as that. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. God bless you. I'll see you again later. Make sure you subscribe. Shalom.